Shalonda also said something earlier, and it kind of made my eyebrow raise, where she said, a boyfriend with money made me happy. Driving a certain kind of car made me happy. Having money makes me happy. Is that really true? Yes. Does it really make me happy? It does. It doesn't really make me happy?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. You sedate yourself with those things. You're not happy. I've lived that life for over 30 years. I've had those boyfriends. I've known those boyfriends. And at the end of the day, I'm still not happy. I'm learning to be happy now. At 52, I'm just learning to be happy. I got married angry. I married angry. I married someone that God told me not to marry.
Okay.
You Yes, because I was accustomed to the situation. I stayed in the situation. It became a comfortable place for me. It became my safety. Even though everything around me was off, it was comfortable to be there. So was I happy? I pretended. I told my sisters I was happy. I went to my wedding like I was happy, but today I'm happy. Just because I'm comfortable, does that mean I'm happy?
I was going to say, I think, and like that's very true, but that's not everyone's case. I think for some people, happiness is where they are, but as you grow and as you mature, your perception of happy changes. So when you're a kid, roller skates and bubblegum and nowadays make you happy. It doesn't mean that you're not happy. It just means that from where you are and whatever that box is, that definition of happy works for you at that moment. I think that in some cases, some of us put the label of happiness on things that are superficial and not really that. But for those of us who are really in that place where we have to grow and mature, it doesn't mean that in that moment you weren't happy or you didn't enjoy where you were. It just means that when you grow, it changes. And it should, because you don't stay the same. None of us should stay the same. So if you're 40 years old, what made you happy as a toddler is still making you happy, that's a problem. That's a problem.
My dear to that?
Hi, over the years in my particular life, I have learned that I was in a constant state of crisis, like a perpetual state of crisis. I went from crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis. And although I looked like I was calm and I looked like I was doing okay, I was in a constant state of worry. I was in a constant state of fatigue and a constant state of when is this next thing coming? And my happiness was when that immediate crisis was handled. But then I would be sent into a spiral of the next crisis. And that's just like, I equated it to like being in a burning house. When someone's in the middle of a burning house, all they're worrying about is getting out the house. They're not worrying about building the next house or putting the foundation of the next house. And when, as a single mother, as a black woman, as a broke black woman, whatever you want to add to it, I feel like women have a tendency to create a perpetual state of crisis in their life. And it's almost so that some women don't feel like something is wrong if they are in a place of peace. If they are in a place of serenity, they create their own crisis. They drive their men off the wall, they yelling at their kids, and the kids are fine. They watching TV, but you still screaming and yelling. You create the crisis. And I think in order to get to happiness, you have to create an environment, or you have to be able to retrain the mind to recognize what is true peace. and what is a non-chaotic environment. And that's something that is both personal, it's personal, it's our lifestyles collectively as a community. It's fed to us on the news, it's fed to us when we go to school, when we go to work, when we meet the men are angry, women, it's just a continuous. So how do you find that zone, that place? I know for me it was with God, but even in the God, because we carry that over into the church, even church world can be chaotic and crisis driven. You know,
more chaotic than the outside.
Right.
Outside, you know what is outside. Like, you're supposed to be like this because you outside.
Right.
You're not supposed to be carrying on like this in the church. And if we are coming into the church for a place of refuge, if this is supposed to be my sanctuary,
right,
I shouldn't feel crazy in the sanctuary where the Lord of hosts is.
Right.
That is just what happens. So for me, you cannot live this life holy, happy, healthy, halfway, no way without him. It is impossible. It is impossible. It is impossible. So if you don't know him, I encourage you to get to know him on a personal level, because beyond this church that we do and we know very well, that doesn't keep us sane, it doesn't pay our bills, and it doesn't really make us happy. It is a form of something that we just do regularly. And I'm not knocking church, but I am saying you can't live free or happy without him in a relationship. And that is the key to happy. For me, joy is internal, and that is, it sparks your happy. Because happy can happen and leave. You can be happy and you can not be happy. But if you have the joy of the Lord, whether it's a good day, a bad day, the bad days turn into good days because I have the joy of the Lord, and my relationship with him, my connection with him allows me to remember the former days, the ones that were better than today, right now. Oh, okay, this is just a moment. And when I take that moment to say, this is just a moment, I'm moving forward. Amen. Don't dwell on the chaos that is happening to you in that moment, because the more you do, the more it consumes you. And when it consumes you, you have no idea how you got here. And in 2 seconds, you done thought about, from one thought, like this is a bad, this, 1,000 thoughts. From 1 second, our minds just spin. Women are, I told my friend, you are the most thoughtful person I've ever met. And it is because in a second, you can go from one thought to like 1,000,000 thoughts to 1,000,000 behaviors. Like, oh my God, now I'm listening. Yeah. And your day is shot. You didn't even say anything. I just got on the train. I just got on the, and I sang and prayed on the way to the train. You bumped me on the train. You stepped on my foot. It's raining. It smells like people, and I'm pissed. That's women. That's us. That's us. And before you know, we done had a bad day. We didn't even see nobody yet. Wow. Right. It's our thinking. It's our thinking that creates these behaviors because we do nothing with it. If I put my thoughts on the Lord and make sure that I'm connected with him in that way, you can't get on my nerve, I can't get on my nerve. I can talk to my, hey, come on now, that ain't even working today. You got to talk to yourself sometimes, because we create, because after we master outside, we tear our own selves down. Because we know our past, we know our shortcomings, we know where we're falling, and you're not even that good. It's like, come on, get out of here. Today is a good day. And sometimes we have to rehearse that to ourselves. However you do it, if you sit to yourself, if you got to, hey, calm it down. Cut it out. Calm yourself. When you slap somebody, you in cuffs, it's going to look bad on the middle.
You can't even explain how you got here.
We really have to start really thinking about the way we think, because it translates to behavior immediately. You want to change your behavior, change your thinking.